That you text someone, nothing back. An hour, then a day, and that small, cold thought slides in. What if they've just forgotten you exist? You can be surrounded by millions of people and still feel it. Feels irrational. It isn't. It's an alarm, and it's older than this city. Older than money. Older than the first written word. Because for the first humans, being alone wasn't a mood you waited out. It was a clock that had just started ticking, and the thing that killed you first out there. It wasn't what you'd guess. Most people assume the danger is obvious. Alone means no protection, predators, starvation, and yes, that's part of it. But researchers who study how prehistoric humans actually died found something stranger. The thing that broke a lost human first wasn't the cold, it wasn't hunger, it wasn't even the animals in the dark. It was something happening inside their own body, and it started within hours. Picture it. You're out with your people, eyes down, reading tracks in the dirt. There's a low ridge ahead. You go left around it. Someone in front of you goes right. That's the whole mistake. Not a battle, not a storm, a ridge, and 2 steps of a wrong choice. You round the far side, and the ground's empty. You wait for the sound of them. A footstep, a voice, the rattle of tools. Nothing. Just wind in the grass. You call out, and your voice climbs into the open air and vanishes. No answer. Just the sound of your own breathing, suddenly very loud. There was no warning. There never is. It happened in 1 second of ordinary bad luck, and by the time you understood it, it was done. You are no longer part of a tribe. You are prey. To see why that empty ground was a death sentence, you have to understand what a tribe actually was. It wasn't your friend group. It was your second body. Alone, one human is almost a joke. Slow, soft, no claws, no fangs. But the tribe held the parts of you that didn't live in your own skin. One person remembered every water source for 100 miles. One knew which plants fed you and which stopped your heart. One kept the fire while another slept. Scientists think our brains are built to hold real bonds with only about 150 people, and the tribes we grew up in were far smaller. 30 faces, maybe 50. That tiny circle wasn't part of your world. It was your world. So losing it didn't just cost you company. You lost your memory, your medicine, your early warning system, most of your actual mind, walking away over a ridge. That's why your body still panics at being cut off. To your oldest instincts, alone doesn't mean lonely. Alone means the clock started. So it starts. Hour 1. You're scared but sharp. You walk too fast, burning energy you'll need later, telling yourself the comfortable story. They can't be far. I'll catch up. Hour 6. The story cracks. No trail, no voices, no shape of a person on the horizon. And a colder thought moves in. What if I chose wrong at the ridge, and every step since has carried me further away? Hour 12. The sun drops, and you learn the oldest rule out here. Daytime belongs to humans. Night belongs to everything else. In the dark you can't see the danger can see you fine, so you don't sleep. You sit with your back to cold stone and listen, and every snapped twig out in the black could be the last sound you ever hear. And this is the thing inside your body. When a human is alone and afraid, the blood floods with stress chemistry. For a few minutes, that's a gift. Fast, sharp, ready to run, but it was never built to stay switched on. In the tribe, it never had to. Someone else took the watch, your alarm fell silent, and you slept. Alone, nobody takes the watch, so the alarm just screams hour after hour, and the same chemistry that saved your life starts to poison it. Your hands shake, your thinking fogs, your judgment falls apart at the exact moment you need it most. And it compounds. The first sleepless night, you survive on fear. The second, there's nothing left, and your body takes sleep whether you allow it or not. Your eyes close for seconds while you're still standing. Little black gaps open in your awareness, and you come back not knowing what moved past you while you were under. Your deadliest enemy was never the predator in the dark. It was your own exhausted mind. And something has started to follow you. Predators spent 1,000,000 years learning one lesson. Never take the herd, take the straggler. The big cat doesn't charge the middle of the group. It waits at the edge and picks off the one that fell behind. The moment you lost your tribe, you became the exact shape every hunter on that plain was built to find, and they can read it on you. A body moving in a group gives off confidence. A body moving alone, glancing over its shoulder, gives off fear. And in the wild, fear is an invitation. You'd never see it, you'd only feel it. That prickle up the back of your neck, the certainty that you are not alone even when your eyes say you are. Empty parking lot at night, a quiet street. That sudden pull to walk faster for no reason you can name. That's the straggler alarm, still firing across 200,000 years. If this is pulling you in, subscribe now, because the next part is the one almost nobody knows. Sometimes the tribe didn't lose you by accident. Sometimes they left you on purpose, and the reason will sit with you long after this video ends. Because a tribe was never a family that loved everyone equally. It was a survival machine, and it ran on one brutal law: the group comes first, always. So imagine you break a leg, Or you get old, and winter's coming, and food's running thin, and the group's moving out, and you can't keep up. Now they face the choice no one says out loud. Slow down for you and risk everyone, or leave you and save the rest. Most of the time, the group survived because it made the second choice. Being left behind wasn't a goodbye. It was a sentence handed down by the people you loved most. And there was a darker version. Sometimes you weren't left because you were weak. You were cast out on purpose, so they did the worst thing they could. They didn't kill you. They exiled you. They turned their backs, refused your eyes, spoke of you as already gone. And you stood there still breathing while your own people made you into a ghost. Across nearly every ancient culture we've studied, banishment was the ultimate punishment. Not pain, not chains. Exile, because they understood something we've half forgotten. A human without a tribe is already dead. The body is just the last part to catch up. We may be the only creature on earth that can be killed by loneliness alone. No wound, no predator, nothing but the absence of other people. You carry that still. It's why being left out of the plans, the group chat, the invite, stings so much more than logic says it should. Your brain isn't overreacting. Your brain is remembering. And there was one last loss out there, maybe the deepest of all. Being forgotten. There were no photographs, no writing, nothing on earth to prove you had ever existed except the memory of the people who knew you. Your name lived in their mouths. Your face lived behind their eyes. The tribe wasn't only your protection, it was your proof. Proof you were real. Proof you mattered. Proof you'd been here at all. So when you lost the tribe, you didn't just start to die. You started to disappear. That fear never left us. It's why we carve names into stone, why we keep photographs, why we post and build and reach for anything that might outlast us. Deep down, we're all doing the same thing that Lost Hunter did on the plane, trying desperately to prove we were here. And here's the fact that should stop you cold. None of this is history. The thing that killed lost humans on the plains is still killing people right now. Researchers have put a number on it. Chronic loneliness raises your risk of early death by roughly a quarter, hits your body about as hard as smoking most of a pack a day. Read that again. The exact ancient signal that once meant a hunter had been cut from the tribe is now firing inside apartments and offices and glowing screens, quietly shortening lives in the safest era we've ever built. Same alarm, new world. It never switched off. We just stopped hearing it as a warning. So if being alone was a death sentence, how did anyone survive it? They didn't try to get tougher. They tried to get found. They climbed the highest ground they could reach. They followed rivers, because rivers led to water and water led to people. And if they could make fire, they lit it not just for warmth but as a signal, a column of smoke that said without words, I am here. I am still alive. Come back for me. And sometimes it worked. A hunting party crested a hill and saw the smoke. One relative refused to stop looking and circled back one more time. Because in the end, the only thing that ever saved a human from being alone was another human choosing not to give up on them. So here's the thought to end on. Every single one of your ancestors made it through that brutal world without ever dying alone and forgotten first. Not one of them failed. Trace your blood back 200,000 years. Through every winter, every famine, every dark and dangerous night, and every link in that unbroken chain belonged to a tribe. Every one of them was found, was fought for, mattered to someone long enough to pass life down the line all the way to you. That isn't luck. That's the whole story of being human. We outlasted stronger, faster, fiercer creatures for one reason above all. We refuse to let each other go. So the next time you feel that pull, the quiet need to reach out, to call someone, to not be alone tonight, don't fight it. That feeling isn't weakness, and it isn't small. It kept your ancestors alive for 200,000 years. And if they had ever stopped listening to it, you wouldn't be here to feel it at all.